Good evening and welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight. I am Terry Kay of the Jewish Grandparents Network, and we are thrilled that you have come together to talk about Latkes and laughter, Hanukkah activities to make meaning and memories with grandchildren. We so appreciate that you made the time to join us. First, a big thank you to Sarah Reed, our JGN colleague who is helping facilitate. Sarah has shared with us in chat how to turn on captions for those who wish to use that feature. And we are recording tonight's session. We are thrilled to welcome back our friend Andrew Davies of the Bible Players to lead us tonight. Those of you who were with us in April for Andrew's Passover activities know that you're in for a treat. Let me tell you quickly about our plan. From now to around 7:55, Andrew will share a ton of great ideas for us to make this the best Hanukkah ever. Then, for about 15 minutes, we'll have some community sharing where we invite you to tell us your own great ideas for Hanukkah that your grandkids and family have loved. Let me introduce Andrew. Andrew Davies co-founded the Bible Players, the premier Jewish education comedy team in 2011. They the Bible Players have performed in over 1,000 synagogues, schools, and camps across the United States. Andrew's training is in improvisation, and he is passionate about bringing those skills to Jewish values and biblical stories. His creation of mitzprov as a way to deepen Jewish joy and connection has transformed Jewish communities and Jewish education. Andrew was the winner of the Young Pioneer Award from the Jewish Education Project and the Pomegranate Prize from the Covenant Foundation. He is also the co-founder of Carrick Tours, Tours, a theatrical walking tour where the past visits you. Andrew, I'm going to turn it over to you now with all our thanks.
Oh, thank you so much, Terry, for having me again, and to everyone at the Jewish Grandparents Network. And Sarah Reed, thank you so much for making this digital virtual experience so simple and easy. And Toda Rabah to all of you. Thank you for being here on this cold night to come together and start Hanukkah a little bit early with me. I'm really excited that you're here. As Terry said, it was so wonderful to join to talk about Pesach, to talk about Passover, and some wonderful ways to bring improvisation and mitzvah to Passover. And tonight we're talking about Hanukkah. And since some folks are still coming in, we're going to start with a little game. And you all get a bonus game, and the people that come late, they missed out. That's on them. All right, so we're going to play a game that I love to play on Zoom, okay? You can play this one on Zoom too if you're going to join your grandkids on Zoom, which is the close objects game, okay? So I got a few objects here. I'm going to start them very close to the camera and slowly pull them away. And I want you to type into the chat when you figured out what object it is, okay? They're Hanukkah objects. That's my hint, okay? It's not going to be a cheese hoagie. Okay, here we go. All right. All right, so it's very close. Maybe some of you can already tell. Slowly move it away. Type in the chat. You figure out what it is. Oh, Debbie wins the first round in Ellen. It's a dreidel. A classic dreidel. I hope you found yours under the couch from last year or got some new ones. Okay, let's do another one. Here we go. Okay, another Hanukkah classic. All right. Is it a ballpoint pen? Oh, Terry's coming to win. We did not plan. I did not let her know in advance. It's a candle. That's right. A Hanukkah candle. Beautiful. We're all going to use some of those. All right, let's do one more, one final one. Okay, here we go. All right, let's see. Oh, Nancy, you got it. It's a menorah, and not just any menorah. The menorah I made in kindergarten at Solomon Schechter in Philadelphia when I was 6 years old. I still have it, but it mostly lives in our basement because it's not as cute anymore how homemade it is. Wonderful. Thank you for playing the close up on Zoom game. We're so glad you're here. Thank you for all of those of you who are playing. If you're just joining, I'm Andrew, and we're talking about Hanukkah tonight, how to make it fun. I'm not going to tell you how to spell it in English. There's 1,000 ways to spell it in English. The important thing is to try and say the Hanukkah. And some of you pointing out Hanukiyah. That's right. It's a Hanukiyah, right? Because we've got 9 here, right? A Hanukiyah is the specific kind of a menorah. So if you said a menorah, you are correct, but a menorah could have a different amount of candles. A Hanukiyah specifically has 8 candles and the big one for the shamash. And we're going to see another Hanukiyah a little bit later. But I'm so glad you're with us. My goal for tonight is really simple, which is for you to walk away in an hour or so with a new activity that you can use for your Hanukkah this year, whether you're celebrating on Zoom, in person, or both, and whether you're celebrating with your grandchildren every night of Hanukkah or just one night or 2 nights. I hope you come away with something special. Please put questions in the chat, put responses. Would love to hear what you're thinking as we're going along. This is live. I'm a real human. If you're watching this later, this was live. I was a real human. But I'm going to share, Sarah's going to share in the chat some videos, some Hanukkah videos, which I'm not going to make you watch right now because you can watch those on your own time. But the Bible Players, my Jewish comedy team, over the years has made a few different videos, Hanukkah parody songs. We have Keeping Kosher with the Maccabees, which is a reality show parody, the World Series of Dreidel, imagining if Dreidel was actually a competitive sport that was on ESPN, and some other fun ones that they'll share in the chat. Also, going to share a link to a Hanukkah sensory box, which is a very cool new thing created just this year by my good friend Aaron Beezer, who started Adoma. Does anybody know Adoma? Does that name mean anything? She's learning. She's coming onto the scene. I've been doing this for more than 10 years. Aaron just started a couple years ago. But it's Adoma because she's making Play-Doh and using Play-Doh to make sensory objects. And so this is a kit using Play-Doh to make a dreidel out of clay or of Play-Doh. It's a lot of fun. Check it out and check out Adoma because they're doing amazing, beautiful work, especially if your grandchildren are young. I would say like under 5. They will really love it. So I would love to start with the question to all of you, which is, what was a memorable Hanukkah for you and why? Oh, Susan, you spelled it right. Adoma. Exactly. You nailed it. Adoma, like that. Adoma. Thank you. Um, so I'm going to invite you to share in the chat, what was a memorable Hanukkah for you and why? And while you're sharing some of your answers about a memorable Hanukkah for you, I'll share a couple for me. So when I was young, there was a day. Every year, I desperately wanted a dog. My sister and I really wanted a dog. And when I was 8 years old, during Hanukkah, my father came home from work. He worked in City Hall at Philadelphia at the time with a stray dog that had followed in someone that worked for the mayor. And he brought him home and we named him Buddy. His name was Buddy. He was a corgi mix, and that is still the best Hanukkah present I've ever gotten because you can't beat a dog. And this was genuinely the best dog in the world. Don't tell that to my current dog, but Buddy was amazing. He was the best. And he was actually friends with the mayor because the woman in the mayor's office had been the one that had rescued him. And the mayor of Philadelphia, Ed Rendell, Jewish, some of you may know him. He later became the governor of Pennsylvania, has no idea who I am, but knows my dog well. He once took him for a whole day and got him a meatball sub for lunch. It wasn't kosher, but it's fine. My dog doesn't keep kosher like I do. And when the mayor needed to go to events at night, he sent his driver to drive my dog home to us. So it was just my dog in the back of a limo, which is still my favorite thing. So that was my favorite Hanukkah for many years, for 30 years, really, until 2 years ago, December 14th, the last night of Hanukkah, my second son, Oren, was born on the final night of Hanukkah. We had been calling him the Latke while he was in my wife's stomach and growing for those 9 months as his name, and he did not disappoint. He came on the last night of Hanukkah in 2023, and this year, his Gregorian secular birthday, December 14th, lands on the first night of Hanukkah. So this year, his birthday is both the first and the last night of Hanukkah, which is kind of amazing. So that's now my favorite Hanukkah. But excited to hear Well, your favorite Hanukkahs were, Ellen said, when I accidentally put a tablespoon of salt in the latkes instead of a teaspoon. Oh boy. Okay, that doesn't seem too bad, but maybe it was a little too salty. Lighting menorahs, singing with friends. I love it. We danced, singing. Oh, kept this tradition with your sons of dancing. Terry going to your grandkids' class to do Hanukkah. That's the best. Keep them coming, sharing in the chat. I want everybody to be sharing. This is really a time for all of us to learn and share together. So, a little bit about me is Terry shared that I started the Bible Players. I grew up in Philadelphia, and about 12 years ago, I started the Bible Players with the goal of really bringing together my love of improv and of Judaism and comedy coming together, and have been loving leading programs ever since. And I'm so excited to share some more tonight. Now I get to celebrate Hanukkah in a few different ways. I light candles in our window in South Philadelphia, right along the street, which I love to see. I often visit my parents and my in-laws who are in other parts of Philadelphia. And my extended family on my wife's side always does a Hanukkah party, but everyone's so busy in December that we end up celebrating in January every year. So we call it the ninth night of Hanukkah, which is always very fun too. So sometimes it takes an extra month to finish Hanukkah to get there. But something I wanted to do with us together is to just review the blessings because I'm looking at all of you, even if you've been celebrating Hanukkah for 70 years, it's been a year since you did the Hanukkah blessings, right? So right here, I have another Hanukiyah. And if those of you who are sports fans might recognize this team, this is for the Jewish Heritage Night at the Philadelphia Flyers, which are the hockey team here in Philadelphia. And if you're a fan here, so we're going to light the candles. And just a reminder, because every year I forget and have to look it up, that we load the candles from right to left. So this is night one, night two, night three, but then we light them from left to right. So we light them this way. So we load them this way, we light them this way. So I'm going to light our shamash, our helper candle, and sing the blessing, and you're muted. So I encourage you to sing along with me. And Sarah's sharing it in the chat, a video of a cantor with a better voice than me singing these same blessings, but I'm going to do my best. All right. So I'm going to light the shamash as we sing the first blessing. I encourage you to join me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Chanukah. And there's another blessing. Baruch atah Adonai, left to right, Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa nisim lavotenu bayamim hahem bazman hazeh. There you go. Were you singing along with me? Give me a thumbs up if you were singing along with me. I couldn't hear. Oh, beautiful. Okay, I hope I got all the words right. I'm going to leave it here just to give a little ambiance, and we can check in with how it's doing. We'll see if we finish first or if the candles finish first. So the Hanukkah blessings are beautiful. The meaning of the second one I was thinking about in preparing for today. She'asa nisim lavotenu bayamim ahem ubazman hazeh. Who did blessings, right? Bayamim ahem in their time, ubazman hazeh, and in our time. And thank you, Deborah, the Shechianu on the first night. Yes, I didn't do that tonight, but the Shechianu blessing you can do on the first night, or really any time that this Hanukkah is different. If you have a new set of people doing Hanukkah, or you're doing it in a new way, you can always do the Shechianu. Deborah, thank you so much for adding that. Wonderful. So I think about this blessing of She'asa Nisim Lavotenu Bazman Hahem Ubazman Hazeh. And if I could summarize what we're trying to do in Hanukkah in one word, it's to make ourselves and our grandchildren feel that the miracles, the miracle of light, the miracle of connection, the miracle of community happened then and it happens now, right? And it happens for us. And I think there's so many ways to make those special miracles come to life for us. And I hope tonight sparks some ideas for you and that you share some of those ideas of how you bring that to life. So if you want to share in the chat what part of Hanukkah you really love doing with the children in your life, I would love to hear it. So with mitzprov, as Terry mentioned, mitzprov is what I call improv as a way to practice our mitzvot, our Jewish values. And so this approach to Judaism is really to make Judaism fun, to make it engaging, to make it fun, not just for our grandchildren, but for you as well. And it really connects to improv for me because I really think that you can look at the history of rabbinical Judaism as a never-ending history of yes and. If folks know anything about improv, it's the idea of saying yes to the idea that came before us and adding on to it. And the rabbis read the stories that came before and add on to them and keep saying yes and. And so as you're thinking about your own Hanukkah, think about the traditions that you inherited as the yes, saying yes to those, excited to share those, and adding new traditions, building new traditions with your family. Hanukkah for me, if I could say one Jewish value, and I talk about this for an hour when I do a Bible Player show, is ruach. Ruach. Can everyone say ruach? Ruach. Put in the chat if you already know what ruach means, and you're an expert on Hebrew. If you already know what ruach means, put it in the chat. That's right. Yes, ruach is spirit. You know it's a Hebrew word because there's phlegm in it. Ruach, ruach. It's spirit. It's the spirit of this holiday. This time of year is always cold, always dark. And I think to have the Hanukkah spirit is so important. I love seeing people sharing some of their favorite Hanukkah things to do with their families, which I love. And ruach has other meanings too, breath, wind, spirit, right? But for me in this moment, it's spirit. And the Hanukkah story is really interesting. Let me just show of hands if you kind of know the Hanukkah story or you know the Hanukkah story. A lot of us? Okay, amazing, right? So it's a very interesting holiday because there's a book of Maccabees about the Maccabees, and the rabbis decided that the book of Maccabees would not make it into the Tanakh, into the canonized Bible. And I think the reason is because it's very violent. There's a lot of violence in the book of Maccabees and in the story, to the point that a few years ago, when Game of Thrones was big, any Game of Thrones fans with me, I did a quiz for my adult comedy shows, not for the kids, but for the adults, where I would read a quote and you had to figure out if it was from the book of Maccabees or Game of Thrones. Because there's so much violence, they really blended together. And in the book of Maccabees, in that story, it's all about the fighting, the war, the militarism. And the rabbis tell a different story in the Talmud. In the Talmud, they tell the story that I think we connect with the most and that we connect to our kids, which is about the light, right? Which is about the miracle that after the Maccabees defeated the Syrian Greeks and Antiochus, that they didn't think there was any of the precious oil, the purified oil, but they found enough oil just for one day, but it lasted for 8, right? And that was the miracle. That was the nace. And this happened a long time ago, 167 BCE, which means before chocolate eclairs. This was a really long time ago. And I think that this holiday for me is about spreading that light. So I like to bring in the stories of Maccabees and the resistance to Antiochus while also focusing on the light. So I want to play a game that I love, an activity that you can play along with me. It's called Antiochus Says. So Antiochus is the evil Syrian Greek person who comes in. His full name is Antiochus Epiphanes IV, which means God on earth, the fourth. So he was very full of himself, and he thought all the Jews should have to do what they did, the Greeks did. So in Antiochus Says, it's like Simon Says, except I want you to do the opposite of what I say, because like the Maccabees, you're rebelling against the mean Antiochus, all right? So Antiochus says, everyone sit still, sit still. Hey, wait. Oh, I see you bobbing your heads and moving around. Okay, Antiochus says, everybody be very sad. Everybody be very sad. What? Ah, they're smiling. Okay. Antiochus says, be really mean to the screen next to you. Be really mean to everybody else on this Zoom. Oh, some of you waving, being friendly. Ugh. All right, Antiochus says, do not dance. Do not dance. Oh. All right, fine. Okay, all right. We'll let Antiochus go. Thank you for playing Antiochus Says. This is one I love to do on Zoom or in person with really all ages. My sons are 4, and Oren's about to be 2, if you remember from earlier. He'll be 2 on the first night of Hanukkah. And they love to play this because they know Simon Says, or they've heard it before, and this one gives them the opportunity to be creative, and you can take turns being the mean Antiochus in the story and being the proud Maccabees kind of rebelling against Antiochus together, which is so much fun. Another one that I love to play is Anachnu. Anachnu means we are. And so I would love suggestions in the chat of things that we could be together, that we could act out together, that we could act out silently with our bodies. If we were in person, we could use our voices as well, but we'll just do it silently on Zoom. So put in the chat, what are some Hanukkah objects, Hanukkah characters, Hanukkah traditions that we could act out? What do you think would be fun to act out for Anachnu? Get started. Okay, Arlene has elephants to start. Amazing. The elephants may be part of the story that we don't talk about as much, but coming in with the army. Great. So Anachnu, elephants. Let's all be elephants. I gotta watch out for my Hanukiyah here so I don't burn my computer. Okay, Anachnu Latkes. Let's be Latkes. Anachnu Latkes. Oh, some beautiful latkes. Okay, what else can we do here? Anachnu making latkes. Anachnu latke chefs. Let's be making latkes. Let's see how you do it. I'm just shredding potatoes endlessly. Unless you got a food processor, that's very helpful. Okay. Ooh, I like Eileen said, Anachnu searching for oil. Can we all be searching for oil? Ooh, very nice. And what about dreidels? Anachnu dreidels. Can we all be dreidels? Anachnu dreidels. All right, beautiful, beautiful. And there's lots more there, lots more great ideas. Anachnu, such a fun one to play in person or on Zoom, but to bring things to life. And it's a great way also to see what your grandchildren already know about Hanukkah and new ideas you can introduce to them, right? See if they've already heard of dreidels and latkes, what they remember from last year, and what's new to them. Anachnu is one I love on person or in Zoom. The next one I want to play, I want to try out with you all, and thank you for playing with me. I'm going to need a volunteer for this one because this one we're actually going to talk a little bit. It's verbal, but it's real easy and fun. Can someone raise their hand as a volunteer, and then Sarah can spotlight you with me and unmute you? I can pick somebody here. Adults don't like volunteering. I get it. So that's just my Elliot. I saw Elliot Feldman, my hero. Thank you. So Sarah will add you to the spotlight, Elliot, while I describe our game. So here we are. We're on the big screen. So Elliot, we're gonna play a gift giving game, okay, called Toda Rabah. All right, and I love playing this game around Hanukkah because gifts are great. I love gifts. If you're giving your grandkids gifts, that's amazing. If they're giving you gifts, that's amazing. Where did they get the money? That's beautiful. But really, the best gift we can all give each other, right? We all know is not something physical. It's our spirit, it's our community, it's our ideas and our creativity. So, Elliot, we're going to give each other a couple imaginary gifts in a game called Toda Rabah. Okay, so it's a 3-line scene where one of us is going to say, "Here, I got you a gift," and then the other person would say, "Elliot, you'd say, oh, Toda Rabah, thank you for," and you'd make up what the gift is. "Thank you for the elephant," or "Thank you for the baseball," or "Thank you for the fruit roll up," whatever it is. And then the third line, I have to explain why I got you that gift. Okay, so we have to work together to make the scene. Does that make sense? So we'll give each other a couple gifts back and forth. So Elliot, why don't you hand me a gift first and I'll name it. Oh, Elliot, Toda Rabah, thank you for this cactus plant. And now you tell me why you got me the cactus plant.
Because it's precious.
Oh, thank you. Just like you, Elliot. Thank you. Okay, perfect. So now I'm going to give you a gift, Elliot. Here, I got you a gift.
Well, thank you, Andrew, for my new Mercedes.
Oh, you're so welcome, Elliot. I got you a new Mercedes because I know you really wanted to show off around town this year, and you can just drive it in circles around. It's perfect. You'll love it. All right, let's do one more. All right, Elliot, why don't you give me one more gift? Oh, Toda Rabah, thank you for this piece of carrot cake. Why'd you get me carrot cake, Elliot? You can tell me.
because it's so delicious.
Oh, thank you. All right, round of applause for Elliot, everybody. Thank you, Elliot. Thank you so
Andrew,
much.
Andrew,
Yes.
Robin asks what age you recommend this game for.
Oh, great question. Yes. I would say starting at like 4 or 5, I think you could play this one. I've done this one with my 4-year-old Miller, but not really with my 2-year-old Oren. So I think, yeah, I think 4 or 5 when they're verbal, you can try it out. But would like this with a lot of games, try it out, see how it goes. But I've definitely done this many times with kindergartners, and they love it as well. Sometimes they just give the gifts back and forth. And the great part about kids is if you teach a game that they're not ready for, they'll just do a piece of it and they'll still love it. So that's great. But great question. Thank you, Terry. Yeah, and Robin. I want to share another game that is really to be played in person, but I'm just going to talk about how it'll work. And for this one, I would say you need at least 3 people. Okay, so you need maybe a couple grandparents, maybe a couple grandkids. You could play this with 4 people, 5 people, 10 people, and it's called Catch the Candle. Okay, so the way it works is you make a little circle. You're going to make a circle as a group. One person's going to go into the center of the circle, and they are going to be Antiochus. Okay, Antiochus, and they are trying to catch the candle. Now, the goal is for the group to all work together like the Maccabees and pass the candle around to everyone in the circle without Antiochus seeing who has the candle. So the way they're going to do that is have it behind their back like this and try to pass it to the next person in the circle and pass it all the way around the circle without Antiochus catching them. Okay, this one, like the last one, I would say like ages like 4 and up would be great for this. Passing around the candle forces them to really work together, the kids and adults, to kind of communicate without talking and pass it around. And Antiochus in the middle gets to be a detective. And if they catch the person, then you switch spots and a different one comes into the middle as Antiochus. This is really a lot of fun. Like I said, as long as you have at least 3 or 4 people, so you can make a circle. And it's great even with like 5 or 10 people if you're having a big Hanukkah party. It's super fun and gets super silly as Antiochus accuses people who don't have the candle. Amazing. So I wanted to do another game with the candle that I love is a tradition that I have with my family, which is kind of fun with my boys, is that before we light the candle, we have to find the candles. And I like to hide the candles. Okay. So I call this game Find the Light. And this is really fun because I think it's a great way to remember the part of the story of the Maccabees coming back to the temple, seeing that it's destroyed, and needing to find the precious oil, right, to light the menorah. And so you can hide candles around the room, the right number of candles, and then have folks look for them. With my younger son, Oren, I'll usually do kind of like hot and cold if he's getting closer, like warmer, warmer, colder, colder. But this is a fun one because it really turns lighting the candles into a fun game that they're a part of. And they get to find the candles to start the night. And you can always have backup candles in case they can't find them or you forget where you hid one of the candles. You don't want it to stop you from lighting candles, but it can be really fun. And it really gives them a fun sense of ownership, of like being a part of the miracle, a part of the candle lighting. My guys are a little too young to let them light the candles, but this way they get to find the candles and they can help you place the candles. Can be really fun. And exactly, Allison, like the afikomen at Pesach or even finding chametz before you start Pesach, those are so fun, right? And we know how fun those are with our grandchildren because hide and seek and versions of hide and seek are just the best. And I think this one really connects to the story in a fun way. And if you're doing Hanukkah on Zoom, you could also try hiding the candles on Zoom. Like, for instance, I've had a couple candles hidden. Have you seen them? Have you noticed them? Put in the chat if you see where the candles are. I've been hiding 2 candles, but they're on the Zoom screen. I think you can see them. They're right here. They've been in my shirt the whole time. They were just sticking out just a tiny bit. So it was pretty tough. If you didn't see them, don't beat yourself up. But if you're doing Hanukkah on Zoom with your family, this could be really fun, right? Like you could hide it behind your ear, you could hide one in your hair, like see if they can find the candles. Super fun, right? And then you can light the candles together, and that same feeling that like they're a part of the miracle, they're a part of the teamwork of finding the candles. I think the Maccabee story we can really embody anytime we can work together as a team, do something amazing as a team, and create that magic. So feel free to put in the chat if you have any other ideas. Maybe there's some
Yeah, Ellen
questions.
Ellen did.
Yeah.
Ellen put a comment about the game and the Hanukkah music.
Oh, I love
She liked
it.
it a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, so you could play it. That's a great idea, Alan. I haven't tried it that way, but that sounds super fun. Kind of like hot potato, like passing it around. And then if it lands on you, you're out of the circle. Super fun. Yeah, I think that's super fun. I
Andrew,
love that.
it's super helpful when you tell us specifically what we could do if we live at a distance, like you just did.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
what we can do if we live at a distance, because that's always a difficulty for grandparents who live far and want to celebrate on
yeah.
Zoom.
Yeah, and I'll try and share both versions. Some of them, like Catch the Candle or like this, are a little tougher to do um, on Zoom. But a lot of them, like Finding the Candles, like Anachnu, like Antiochus Says, just as fun on Zoom. Super fun on Zoom. And we'll do some more as well if we have time. Um, so another fun thing you can do on Zoom, you're just reminding me, Terry, that's just like a fun Zoom trick with your grandkids. You can try and like pass the candle to each other through the internet. So you can try and like pass it and then have them grab it at the same time. Like you pass it off screen and they grab it on screen. A fun game to play with your grandkids because they'll use their imagination and feel like they're getting it. But that's super fun to use the video screen in creative ways that way. Um, so I wanted to check in for a moment. Oh, I'm on time on my schedule that I made up. Great. Um, so Hanukkah books. I wanted to talk for a moment about Hanukkah books, and then we'll come back to some more games if we have time. We're going to talk about some books and some Hanukkah foods. There are so many great Hanukkah books. Please put in the chat if you have what's one of your favorite Hanukkah books. Would love to hear what one of your favorite Hanukkah books is. I'm going to share three that I've loved reading with my kids for different ages, and I'm going to start kind of youngest and get older. So with babies, I really loved this one with Orange Newsborn. This is Where is Baby's Dreidel? Really cute. And it's every page is kind of looking for the dreidel, but finding a different Hanukkah object. So he's finding the Hanukiyah, and then he finds a Latke, and he finds Sufganiyot. It's super fun for little guys. Where's Baby's Dreidel? So for really like 0 to 2, I would say, they love these kinds of books. It's amazing. A little bit older, like I would say like 2 and up, this one's pretty good. Grover's 8 Nights of Light. It's super fun when characters that our kids know are really seen in these stories and are represented for Hanukkah. And I think a beautiful change since the grandparents who are joining us, our elders were kids, to when I was a kid, to now when my kids are growing up. There's so much more beautiful representation of Hanukkah in our characters and our stories. And so this one is all about Grover teaching Hanukkah to his friends, to his Sesame Street friends who don't know about Hanukkah. And it's really fun for them to see that and to feel connected and to feel like represented with characters that they love. And the final one, my older son who's 4 loves, so maybe I'd say 4 and up. This one is called Red and Green and Blue and White. This one makes me cry pretty much every time I read it. It's based on a true story of a Jewish family who was the only Jewish family on the street and had a brick thrown through their window. And we had Thierry talking about it because it's really beautiful. And the family's friend across the street, they decide to like put blue and white lights in their window instead of red and green in solidarity with this family. And then everyone in the neighborhood starts doing it. And it becomes a whole thing where the whole town is lit up blue and white in solidarity with their neighbors. It says it was inspired by real events in Billings, Montana in December 1993. So it was in Montana. But my sons listen to it and appreciate it. But honestly, this one's for me. I read this and it gives you beautiful hope about humanity in dark times. and is really great. And thank you, Terry, for sharing. The JGN has an amazing bookshop and resources. That's amazing because, as I said, there's so many great Hanukkah books. Um, oh, who's the author? Let's see. Lee Wind and Paul Zelinsky. Lee Wind and Paul Zelinsky. Yeah. Um, Wonderful. So, um, Hanukkah books are just amazing. Amazing ways to just share pieces of the story, pieces of Hanukkah, but in a fun, accessible way. And you all know that grandkids love hearing the same story over and over again if they love it. So it's just so beautiful. So I encourage you, if you already have some Hanukkah books, dust them off. And if you don't, get some more Hanukkah books this year. And Terry shared a link where you can find some more great resources with JGN. So I wanted to check in for a moment about food. All right, Hanukkah food. So I'm curious in the chat for you to share, what food do you connect most with Hanukkah? What food do you get excited to make, excited to eat, excited to be a part of? A lot of great foods are great. While you're sharing foods you love, I love latkes, always love latkes. My wife and I both love latkes. But my wife gets a little like overwhelmed by the oil smell that comes into the house. It can take things over. I lived in New York for 10 years and I associate Hanukkah with like an overwhelming oil smell in a tiny apartment in New York, and it can be a lot. And what we started doing, which is funny, is that we grill latkes on a grill out in the backyard so that the house doesn't smell. And then we bring the latkes back inside because it's December and it's cold here in Philadelphia. But grilling latkes is fun. But I'm seeing so many other great ideas. Baking latkes, almond biscotti cookies. Oh my gosh. Zalabia fried dough my Sephardic family makes. Denise, thank you for sharing. I wish we were all in a room together so we could share these. Sufganiyot Oat Jr., deli donuts. Amazing. Yeah, a lot of Sufganiyot Oat fans. Do not latkes. Um, Amazing. And Sufganiyot Oat, of course, the donuts that we make, often jelly filled, different things. With latkes, there are different ways. Barbara says, my house has to smell it or isn't Hanukkah. That's true, Barbara. We're cheating a little bit. I know. It's just, it's how it is. We all have our own different traditions, you know? And it's fun. It's funny to watch my wife grill with like her giant coat on and her hat on and gloves on. It becomes a very funny event. And write in the chat while we're talking about latkes, applesauce or sour cream or both. Where do you come down on this meaningless but very important debate of applesauce or sour cream? Because they're both amazing. With toddlers, applesauce is the clear winner. They could eat applesauce all day and night. If I had applesauce pouches, they would never eat anything else. We have to hide them. Otherwise, they would never eat any other food. But amazing. Oh, low-fat plain yogurt, Allison, mixing it up. Yeah, it doesn't have to just be the binary of sour cream and applesauce.
Latkes with lox and or capers.
Ooh, lox or capers, Ellen. Wow. Classy. That's very nice. I like that. Very fun. Amazing. And then, of course, there's gelt. There's Hanukkah gelt, which folks love and can be great, and brings us to the classic dreidel. Dreidel time, right? If there's any activity that we love at Hanukkah, it's the dreidel. And I wanted to share, just remind us how we play the classic rules of dreidel, but also share a couple of variations and how my 2 and 4-year-olds experience dreidel. So I have a couple dreidels here. You saw one of these earlier. I got a couple little ones. I have to share with you a very impractical but beautiful one that I got from my Aunt Hinda visiting from Israel. This is a wooden dreidel that came as 2 pieces, and they're like interlocking wooden pieces. And it says Nes Gadol Haya Po instead of a shin because this dreidel from Israel, of course, outside of Israel, we say Nes Gadol Haya Sham. Sham is there. The great miracle happened there. But in Israel, Nes Gadol Haya Po, right? A great miracle happened here. So this is really beautiful. Why I say it's impractical is because when it spins, it doesn't really land on one side. It kind of lands with 2 sides up. So as a game, it's a little harder, but it's just been a beautiful addition to our Hanukkah. For a reminder for the classic rules, and because it's good to learn the rules and then change them, right? So we can yes and our tradition. So Nes Gadol Haya Po Nun, Gimel, Hey, Shin. So if it lands on Nun, you get nothing. Just stays there, right? Shin, you have to put one in, right? Or put two in, but it rhymes with in. Hey, you get half. And Gimel, you get them all, right? Gimel, you get them all. So that's the classic. Now I want to share with you how my 2 and 4 year olds, I've been playing Dreidel with them this week to see like how can they handle it at this age? Can they do classic Dreidel? My 2 year old Oren, almost 2 year old, he just loves making it spin, right? When I talked about the great miracle happened here, right? And the Nisim that happened then and now, for this almost 2 year old, just watching this spin on its own for a while is amazing. And what he does is he cups his hands around it and just kind of makes a little circle around it as it's spinning and watches it spin and loves it, right? So doesn't understand the letters yet, doesn't understand the game, but he just loves watching it spin. My 4.5 year old Miller, he loves playing with the dreidel, but his version is that he spins the dreidel on his own, and if it lands on Gimel, he wins, and he gets so excited. And that's the whole game, right? So the other 3 letters don't mean anything. He recognizes Gimel now, and if it lands on Gimel, he gets super excited because he won, and just gets super excited. Um, so those are great, ways you could do it with the 2 and 4 year old. Oh, and Elsa, I see you brought a grandchild. That's amazing. Thank you. It's so fun. We can see what we're doing all this for. A couple other fun things to do with dreidels, and then I'd love to hear your ideas, or maybe you're already sharing them in the chat. You can go for the longest spin, right? That can be really fun. Miller and I will both spin and see like who can spin theirs the longest, right? So it's not about what it lands on, but who can keep that miracle going the longest, right? It's supposed to only be one day. Let's make it last for 8 days or 8 seconds or 8 minutes. Um, Another one is the upside down spin. Who can do an upside down spin? Anybody else? Yes, Elliot, Arlene, yes. I was doing this with my son Miller, and he was like shocked at how I could do this. And I was like, it's going to take practice, Miller. I've been spinning for 40 years. Like, it's going to take some practice, but it's really fun. Um, Another one, which is really fun, my son Miller was doing at school, and we've started doing at home, is to pick corners of a room. Okay. If you have a square room, simple, 4 corners of the room. If you're playing on Zoom, you could make it like the 4 corners of the Zoom screen, right? You could pick the 4 corners of the Zoom screen and pick which corner is which letter. Okay. So at home, you could put on the wall, a piece of paper that says Nun, Gimel, Hey, Shin, or you could just say it out loud if they're a little bit older and can follow that. And then before you spin the dreidel, everyone has to run to one of the corners. Or if you're on Zoom, you have to jump to one of the corners. And if it lands on the corner that's connected to you, you win that round, right? So this makes it very physical, and it makes it so that only one person is spinning, but everyone is playing while that one person is spinning, right? So super fun, and super fun with younger kids who aren't yet able to do that motion to make a dreidel spin. They can still guess and play along and try to jump to one of those corners. Um, so that's like pick a corner is what I'm calling that game. You don't need to have corners in your room. It could be in a hallway. You just put up 4 pieces of paper, and run to those pieces of paper. But super fun guessing game, and gets them in. Denise says my grandson likes to make his dreidel hit the other dreidels. Yes, classic, classic. That's great. Each person guesses which candle goes out first. Oh, family game. And if you're following along, this is still going. So the webinar is still going. The Hanukkah is still going over here. Okay, great. Um, Another one, which we mentioned in Anachnu, is to be the dreidel, to be physically the dreidel, right? So to spin around and be the dreidel, and you could land and try and spell out the letter with your body, right? So you could try and make the letter with your body. The great part about that is that if my son Oren plays with us, right, he can't actually do it yet, but he loves trying and loves playing along, to try and make a nun, what a nun looks like, or how to make a hay, right? Really fun to play along with. And this you could do on Zoom too. You could have one person spin and everyone else be one of the letters, be a hay or be a nun, right? And they know what it is, even if it's not clear to someone else, to play along. So those are some other fun ways to play. Oh, and we have a long comment about dreidels. Amazing. Have a dreidel race. I love it. Keep drawing dreidels in the bag. Play with more than one. It's so great. I love all these ideas. Amazing. So Oh, we have a couple more minutes. Okay, this is great. So just making sure I got my schedule. Great. Um, so a couple other games I wanted to play. A lot of what I love about the Hanukkah stories I've shared is the Maccabees really working together. And so I'd love to play a game where we're going to mirror each other. Okay. So I'm going to start off with a little bit, seeing if we can all work together as the Maccabees. All right. So everybody, can we all follow me and work together? All right. So just follow what I do with my hands. See if you can try and follow. Amazing.
Should we put ourselves on, should we look at gallery view?
Yeah, let's go to gallery view for this game. And I think someone had a question. Alan, did someone have a question? I'm happy to answer a question or have a thought.
Ellen, did you want to, Ellen, Mark, did you want to raise your hand? No.
Oh no, I think Zoom just did that. Sometimes Zoom just does
Zoom
that on
did
its
that.
own. So yeah, if everyone wants to go to gallery view, that would be great because once you get this down, we can play a fun guessing game, another detective game, which will be tough because we have a lot of screens on Zoom. But it's called Who's Judah Maccabee? Okay, Who's Judah Maccabee? And what I would love to do, Terry and Sarah, if we can do this, is to send someone to the waiting room. And while they're in the waiting room, we're going to pick one of us to be the Judah Maccabee leader. And they're going to come back and try and figure out who's Judah Maccabee, who's leading us. So I'm going to ask Elsa Jones. Could you do us and be the guesser, and we'll send you to the waiting room, and then you'll come back and guess? Okay, I
Elsa,
think
I'm going to
Elsa's
ask
up for it.
you. Yeah, okay,
Okay.
I'll put you to. Great, thank you. Sarah, do you want
Okay,
to
great.
send Elsa out of the room?
So we'll send Elsa to the waiting room. She'll come back. And while Elsa's out of the room, we will pick. Okay, Elsa's gone. All right. We're going to pick one of us to be Judah Maccabee. Does anyone want to volunteer? I can pick somebody. And we're going to try and all work together so seamlessly that Elsa can't tell who's leading. Who can I see clearly? Sandy. Sandy, could you help us out and be Judah Maccabee? Amazing. Okay. And we don't need to spotlight Sandy or unmute Sandy because
Okay.
we don't want to draw any attention. But everyone be on gallery view so that you can see Sandy. Sandy, could you just wave a few times so everyone can see you? Okay, amazing. All right, so now, Sandy, you're going to start leading us. We're all going to follow what Sandy does and try and work together so well that Elsa can't tell who Judah Maccabee is. All right, so Sandy, you can start. All right, so let's all follow Sandy. And Sarah, you can bring back Elsa, and we'll let Elsa guess. All right, so Elsa, welcome back. We're trying to figure out who we're following. Is Elsa back? You can unmute and try and figure out who we're following here. Okay.
Okay.
This is a tough one, Elsa, because there's so many of us. Trust me, this will be easier when it's you and two grandkids. If it's just like 3 screens or 4 screens, a lot easier than when we have
Oh
25
my
screens.
goodness. I wouldn't be able to. I honestly don't know.
Don't worry, don't worry.
Okay. I'll guess. Um I'll guess Ellen Grossman.
Oh, good guess. No, they're not our Judah Maccabee, but good guess.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm
all right.
trying here.
No,
Elsa,
that's
you're a
great.
champ. You're a
Elsa, you're a
champ.
champ. Give a round of applause for Elsa. Can our Judah Maccabee take a bow, wave to us? Our Judah Maccabee. It was Sandy. Sandy, it was Sandy, Elsa. But thank you so much for playing. And Sandy, thank you for leading us and everybody for following along so well. So, as I said, very tough on this big of a Zoom, but I'm assuming all of you will have a slightly smaller Hanukkah celebration with your families on Zoom. So it's much easier. Where the less people you have, the easier it is. And this one can be really fun in person as well. How I recommend doing this in person is gathering in a circle and having the guesser be in the middle. And the guesser can pretend to be Antiochus too, to kind of make it like scary, like they're going to try and find Judah Maccabee and root them out. and everyone just tries to follow along. But if the guesser's in the middle, it makes it that challenge again because things can be happening around them. They don't know who's leading. So really fun in person as well. Um, Amazing. Thank you all for playing with that. All right, we just have a couple minutes more. So I'm deciding what I want to share. Okay. I would love to share Hanukkah Tag is one I love. So this one is an in-person game, so it wouldn't work too well on Zoom. And I would say for ages like 3 and up. And the way Hanukkah Tag works is that you would have one person be the shamash, and they run around and tag people. And if they get tagged, they become a candle, and they have to make a Hanukiyah together. And so they hop around and they'll make a Hanukiyah together. And then once they make a Hanukiyah, they can kind of burn down to the ground as a candle. And then they get to run around again because it's a new night. So they get tagged, they become a candle. And then once they're a Hanukiyah together, they can kind of burn down like that. So really fun, very physical. As I said, I think ages like 3 and up. I would play 3 or 4 and up. And a fun way you can do it if you want, if you have multiple nights in person with your grandchildren, is to make the Hanukiyah bigger each night. So to say, if you have enough people, you could say, if it's night 4, say, okay, we need like 5 candles in our Hanukiyah, right? If it's night 3, we need 4 candles. So you can add that onto that there. Another silly one inspired by classic birthday game, but I think is really fun, is if you have any kind of menorah, a piece of paper, you could print out a menorah. Here's like a picture of menorah that my kids colored last year. You could print out a piece of paper of menorah to put on the wall and play pin the candle on the menorah. So you can have another piece of paper that's a candle, have kids close their eyes, or you could spin them around and have them try and put the candle on the menorah in the right spot. It can be fun to see that and try to find the right spot. So pin the candle on the menorah is another fun one. Oh man, we just have a couple minutes left. I think we got to do a lot of the ones I wanted to do. Oh, another fun one on Zoom that I think is always fun that we can do right now is a quick scavenger hunt. Okay, Hanukkah edition scavenger hunt. I want to give you 10 whole seconds, and in those 10 seconds, I want you to try and find something nearby that relates to Hanukkah and bring it back and show us on screen. All right, so 10 seconds, go. All right, I cheated because I got my Hanukkah box in preparation for today that lives in my basement year to year. But let's see what else other people have. Marlene, oh, has a beautiful, is that an electric? Oh, an electric Hanukiyah, beautiful. That's amazing. What else do we have? Eileen's beautiful drawing. Oh, Leslie has an awesome Dreidel. Awesome. Ellen has something beautiful there, a good, beautiful piece of artwork. Ellen Tillman showing us, oh, a beautiful Hanukiyah, Ellen. Oh my goodness. That's amazing one. Houses, we've got candles. Amazing. That's great. Audrey, love that. Susan, that beautiful Magen David, that beautiful Jewish star. Amazing. These are all beautiful. And the fun thing about scavenger hunt too is that you can find something. Oh, it's a tzedakah box, Arlene. Thank you. Find something specific to only Hanukkah or something that you can think connects to the themes of Hanukkah, right? Like Arlene with the tzedakah box, something we use year round, but maybe a great time to think about tzedakah when we're giving gifts, think about those in need and sharing that. So thank you all for sharing those great ideas. I think we're mostly coming to our time, so I don't want to take away too much time. I want to do the last game. Do we have time for a last game, Terry? Okay, last game. And then I'm going to turn it back over to Terry. And then we'll have some time for questions and sharing your ideas. We're going to do the statue game. So in the chat, this is one of my favorites to do on Zoom or in person, put the title of a Hanukkah statue that you want to see. It could be the brave Judah Maccabee. It could be I ate too many latkes. It could be sufganiyot on my head. It could be one word. It could be a sentence. Put in the chat a statue you'd love to see. And then on the count of shalosh, we are all going to make that statue with our bodies. And I encourage you to go on gallery view if you want to see other people's statues, not just mine. So you can share in the chat a statue name that you would love to see. I'll start off with one of those I said. I ate too many latkes. I'd love to see everyone do that statue. All right, on the count of shalosh. Achad, shaim, shalosh. Oh, some people have headaches. Some people are bloated. Oh, we're feeling bad. Okay, that's great. Oh, S. Stone said Queen Latka. Let's see what Queen Latka looks like. What is that statue? Achad, Shtaim, Shalosh. Oh, some beautiful queens. I love this. Very nice. Amazing. Okay, that's amazing. All right, give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you all for playing that. And that one, statues, is really fun with all ages. I love playing that with my boys. So thank you all so much. Terry, I'm going to turn it over to you for our transition before our question and answer. Thank you so
Great,
much,
great, great. Thank
everybody.
you, thank you, thank you, Andrew.